was called to diagnose this vehicle. When you do auto scan, they said machine is not able to communicate with it, and normally I like to diagnose this kind of vehicle because the issue is sometimes the machine has to go into the gateway module before the gateway allows the machine to communicate with other units on the system. But now it looks like there is no communication. That's what the person said. So I'm doing auto scan and see if I'll be able to communicate with anything. But if I'm not able to communicate with it, I'll do manual search and search for the Rav4 2017. I think this one is 2017-2018 model. So I'll search for it and see if I'll be able to communicate with it. If not, then that means it will be an issue related to either the gateway or any of the CAN system is off. But the car starts and runs perfectly. So you can see that the ignition is on. I can start it. It runs perfectly, but you can see because there is no communication, so the gauge units are not working. And I don't know what they've disconnected on this car. So I'll wait for the auto scan to be done, then I'll know. Well, so I have my breakout box here, which I'm going to use to check if the fault is from the gateway module. So it was not able to scan it. So now let me select Toyota. And sometimes some of the Toyota, the tool will not be able to do VIN reading from auto scan. So you go to automatic and try and read it from this side. Most of the I think most of the Japan makes and some of the Europe makes, the machine can auto scan it. So you need to select the vehicle itself and rescan it, then you can get the VIN. But if this point I'm not able to get the VIN, then that means I have to go for my scope and come and check other things. But meanwhile, I have to go check the wiring diagram and know what I'm doing, where the CAN gateway is located and everything. But with this one, I'll wait for it to scan and see if I'll be able to get any information. If not, then I have to select the vehicle manually. So it just failed. Let me go back and select it manually and see if it will work. So if it's able to scan some of the units, then I'll know that there is a CAN communication issue related to the vehicle. So now I'll select Rav4. Then America. Then AS. So 17. Let me select 17 and see. Radar. Yeah, the vehicle is having the camera, so that means it's having a radar. Then select this. So let me do auto scan and see the modules that I'll be able to scan them. So let me see the kind of modules that I'll be able to scan them, then I'll know what to do from there. I don't have the topology. If I have the topology, I would have known that maybe this kind of unit I'm not able to communicate maybe with the CAN 1 or CAN B system, but I don't have the topology, so I have to wait for the vehicle to scan because it's not all the modules that are running on the CAN lines. Some are running on the CAN line and others are not running. And this one also, the pin 16 and 14, pin 6 and 14 go straight to the gateway module. So I'll wait for it to finish reading here. So I was able to scan 7 modules, and I don't think most of them are on the CAN lines. The high-speed CAN lines has the engine and other things are on, so lost communication faults that I'm getting. So I'm losing communication with most of the things. So there is a CAN issue that I have to check why my CAN high is not working, if it's from the gateway module or it's from any of the units. And this one too, they have CAN junctions, so I have to search for the CAN junctions also and tap power into it. And so So let's continue and see how best we can do to fix this issue. So now that I've brought the scope to it, so you can see the waveform on CAN, which is from the, so that means there is CAN low and there is CAN high. So you can see the CAN communication. So now what I'll do is I have to test on points, or if I like, I'll jump one of the junction which the BCM is in. So this is where the junction is located. So you can see the socket down there, the Y socket. That's where the CAN junction for the other unit is located. So what I'll do is I'll try and tap power. I'll try and tap the CAN line from it. Then I'll see I'll try and tap CAN high. So I'm trying to locate CAN high and CAN low from that white socket. Then I will rescan it again and see, and there's another one over there. So I'll do this one first before I'll do the other CAN junction over there. Power from it, you can see it looks really horrible. The CAN line is not that okay. So what I'll do is I'll keep tracing and see why I'm getting this waveform on this CAN line. You can see the other pin also. So it looks like the CAN line from that side is bad, and you can see I've connected the pin to it, and that CAN line is bad. So let me test the CAN line over there also and see. So with that CAN line, you can see I'm having a good communication, which is from this side. That CAN line, I'm having a good communication. So let me try the other one also and see. And you can see the CAN high is a bit horrible. So now what I'll do is it has to be module by module. I have to remove module by module to identify which of the CAN line. Okay, now it's okay, and the other one also is okay. So both CAN lines are okay now. So it looks like there is a fault on the other CAN line, but before that I'll disconnect this one and rescan and see if I'll be able to scan the system. If not, then I'll know the next thing to do, because all of them will go to the gateway module, which is located over there. All of them will go to the last box over there. We'll go to the gateway module before they come to the other line. So you can see when you are doing CAN diagnosing and you have a gateway module, you have to find the CAN junctions to help you do the diagnosing properly, because without the CAN junctions you can't do the diagnosing properly. If I was using the gateway, I wouldn't know that my CAN message are this bad. So what I'll do is first I'll try and tap this and insert it into my breakout box for it to work. Then I'll know what to do. So I just have to find CAN high. So at this CAN low, which is the first pin, and the second pin is CAN high. So I'll just jump it and rescan the whole system and see. Now what I've done is I've jumped the CAN high and CAN low from there, and I've connected it to my breakout box. And you can see my breakout box, the CAN line are lighting up, which is supposed not to happen that way. So what I'll do is I'll rescan the system. I'll rescan the system and see. Now the vehicle is running. I'll rescan the vehicle and see if I'll be able to communicate with more than the 7 modules. See that? So now I'm scanning the whole system, and Even now I'm only able to communicate with 5 modules. So what I'll do is I'll also jump that side and see if I'll be able to communicate with any other modules also. So now I'll do another auto scan and see if I'll be able to communicate with some of the modules on the system and see. Yeah, now I'm able to communicate. Sorry, instead of me connecting to the black, to this black one, I connected to the black one of the scope. So now I've reconnected it and you can see the light is no longer flashing, and I've tapped the power from this. I've tapped the CAN line from this side. So now the machine is communicating with most of the modules on the CAN line. So I have to go and check why the problem is happening, why the secure gateway is not even able to communicate with it. So let me wait for it to finish the diagnosis, the scanning. So now it's done scanning and I'm able to communicate with the airbag, with the engine, and now I'm able to communicate with most of the modules, which is almost up to 20 devices. So after bypassing the gateway, now I'm able to communicate with it. So let me go back, exit, but just that still this thing is not working. So now let me try and scan, do auto scan and see if it will be able to pull the VIN from the ECU. Yes, and now the auto scan is working. So I have to continue my diagnosing by checking why the gateway module is not allowing me to communicate on that CAN line. So I'll do that. Let me see the year that they will give me. Oh, sorry, 2016 rather. But all of them are ASA. So now I'm able to communicate to the PCM. So I'll check why it's behaving that way. So now let me do auto scan and scan the modules and see the ones that I'll be able to communicate with it. Then now my next attack will be the CAN junction over there. I'll pin it and also check the communication lines that I'll be getting. Then I'll know my way through. So from there, then I have to test and know why the gateway is not, from my wiring diagram, why the gateway is not getting access to, why the gateway is not allowing the scan to communicate with the CAN system, with that CAN system. So you can see that now I'm even able to communicate with the central gateway and there is no fault code. So it could be even that maybe from here to that side, no, because I saw CAN on it. You can see the gateway itself is even communicating, and the gateway, central gateway, has no fault in it. Okay, so now let me go back and now that I have the VIN, I'll use that one to do the diagnosis. So let me jump to the other side also and see if I'll get anything. I'm jumping it from that side to my breakout box, and let me do auto scan and see if I'll be able to scan any of the modules. So with this one, I'm able to scan only some few modules, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, then 4, 10. That means 10 modules. So let me do my tracing properly, check my wiring diagram and trace from the point here to the gateway and see if the fault is from the gateway or something. So now after further research, what I've done is I've jumped this connector. So this connector, which is this connector, and I have connected it to this one. This one goes to the gateway module. So when I check the wiring diagram, there should be a wire from this point to that point, which will allow it to communicate with the gateway module. So the gateway can which they call CAN4 comes on this one, on this socket, on this junction, and it is not, I'm not sure it is working. So what I did is, because I know the CAN high and CAN low at this point, so I connected it from this point to that point. And with this one, the 120 ohm resistor, the reason why maybe my CAN line was bad during the first time was because the 120 ohm resistor, they have one in the instrumental cluster and one in the instrumental cluster and one in the engine. So because there is no communication between this socket and this socket, so the 120 ohms has been divided. So I think that's why maybe the CAN line was not stable, but now when I check the CAN line, it is stable now. So I'll start the vehicle and see if my cluster will start working now. Wow, and now my cluster is working, and you can see the RPM is moving. So let me see my scan also. Now I'm able to communicate with the ABS, with the instrumental cluster, and with everything. So now what I'll do is I'll check for the wire which connect from this side, which connect from this socket to this socket, and see if there is any break within because of the accident. So there could be any break within that wire. So now my breakout box is free, and I just connect these two wires, and now everything on the dash is working. So I just have to erase all the fault codes. So everything on the dash is working, and the fuel and everything is working. So now what I'll do is I'll find for the wire which is violet. I think from the wiring diagram is violet and white, and the violet and white, then I'll see if there is any break. If there is any break, then I'll find for the location and refix it, then I'll call it a fix. But for now, I'm able to communicate with most of the modules on the CAN4. So I'm able to communicate with most of the modules on the CAN4. So what I'll do now is I'll shut it off and erase all the fault code and see the remaining one. So most of the fault code will be because of the communication issues, and the airbag too is having an issue. So I'll do that check, and see how best I can do. So I think the problem is from the wire from this point to that point. So now that I've jumped the wires, now everything is working. So I can even call it a fix for the client, and you can see the lights, most of the lights are going off. The ABS, I don't know if I started it to come up again. The ABS and other lights are going off. So I want to finish scanning the vehicle. Okay, and it is done, and it's left with only 2 fault codes. So let me go back, start the vehicle. Just because of a broken wire now. So now my RPM is running, and everything is running, and all the lights has gone off, and it's left with only few. So I'll just check them. I have to check the connection from this point to that point. So I have to turn my scope into a multimeter. So this is why I use this scope, because I can turn it into a multimeter to test the continuity between the wires and try and find for the broken wire or the location of the broken wire. Then I'll call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Okay, so now the engine has no faults, and most of the systems too. So the airbag, the car, you can see it's an accident vehicle, and the airbags are on. So I'll do it and let the guy know the things he has to do. The radar is not fixed, so those radar codes could be that one, and the air condition and other things. So I'll call it a fix. So I'll do and trace the wire and see if I'll be able to find the actual problem. After switching my multimeter to continuity testing, now I'll plug in the violet and the violet over here, and you can hear the beep. So let me change it to the white. Let me change it to the white and also change it from here to the other side and see. So I think the brake is from the white one. The brake is from the white one. So you can't hear any beep, and there is a resistance of 350 ohms in that wire. So you can see there is a huge resistance in that wire, which is the white and the violet. So what I'll do now is I'll trace and find for where the issue is. Trying this device, you set it to continuity, then whenever there is continuity it turns red. So from this one I'm testing on the violet wire, and when I disconnect it you can see the light is off. When I connect it again, which is this, the light comes back on. You can see anytime. So when I connect it again you can see the light turns on, and it tells me that there is continuity in that line. So I'll change it. So this machine tells me that there is continuity on that line, but when I use my own resistor there is a huge resistance on the line. So I'll measure the resistance on the line and see why it's happening. So now after connecting it to the white line and disconnecting this socket from the units, now I can hear a beeping sound which tells me that the wire is okay. But before that I'll load test the exact cable and see if I'll have any issue with the load test. But I've disconnected the two units, the two connectors. So I think maybe it will be because of a corrosion, because I brought the one here to this side and the one there to that side, and now I'm having the communication back, because after checking it and the line was okay, now the communication is back, which tells me that it could be maybe some little corrosion because the roof is open and the door, so it could be some little corrosion. So the moment I insert the pin into it, it cleaned up the terminal, and now the vehicle is running okay. So it could be that it's a corrosion issue. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So now the problem is fixed and there is no bypass wire around it. There's no bypass wire, and because they've done the windscreen, so I don't think it will happen again. So what I'll do is I'll spray in it and clean it a bit, and I call it a fix. Now the vehicle is running perfectly and you can see the RPM is moving. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.